Welcome, foolish mortals. I am your host, Bruce, aka Haunted Husband, and welcome to my indie game collective showcase of The Iron Oath. Now, if this is your first time or your 100th time on my channel, hit the subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll be notified when my videos go live daily. I cover a lot of indie games, indie demos, and great content like this from indie developers. So if all things indie, you found your haunt. Join the Haunted Mansion and stick around and watch some content. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is an indie game collective showcase of the game. So you may be like, Bruce. I'd be like, how's it going? What's the indie game collective? Well, let me tell you. We're a grassroots community of content creators who focus solely on indie games. And we do so through live streams, videos, written reviews, Steam curation, podcasts, social media, and so much more. And in the description below, you'll find a link to our Twitter page where you can find out more about us, how you can join us, even how you can get your game showcased by us. I'd like to take a moment and thank developer, frog in my throat, developer Curious Panda Games and publisher Humble Games for hooking me up with the code to the game. Also to the Indie Game Collective for allowing me to showcase it to you, my audience. So enough of the pleasantries, what's the game all about? Command, Endure, Prosper in the Iron Oath, a turn-based tactical RPG where the fate of your mercenary company rests on your decision. Lead your band as they age, retire, and die. Build your outfits renowned across decades in the ever-changing medieval fantasy realm. This has extremely positive reviews on Steam and was released April of this year, 2022. It's currently out in early access where you can pick it up for $20 USD. In the description below, you'll also find a link to the Steam page where you can pick it up. And if you're like, hey Bruce, I'd be like, yeah, what is it? You'd be like, I can't swing $20 at the moment. Hey, I understand. If this is your type of game and you can't afford the $20 right now, I highly recommend you wishlist the game. By wishlisting it, you'll be notified should it go on sale in the future. And just a reminder, Steam's Next Fest and Steam's Fall Sale are right around the corner, so you never know. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into this and embarrass ourselves. We are going to be the Haunted Horde. I am a sir. Do I have a skull? That is a skull. I'll take that. Perfect. We got our haunted colors in it. The green, the purple, and the black. We definitely want a new game. No Iron Man. Battle Hardened. For seasoned veterans of turn-based tactical RPGs, if you are looking for a challenging gameplay experience, then start here. Expect tougher encounters and harsh penalties. I mean, you could just really just... We're going to start with Adventurer. I've never played the Iron Oath before. This is my first look at it. I have played some turn-based tactical RPGs, but everyone's a little bit different. So I'm not too sure what the minutia and or nuances of the Iron Oath will be. So let's do this. So you play starting after the first campaign. While still a challenge, there will be more opportunities to recover from a few setbacks. Fewer enemies that have less HP and other difficulties. Dungeon new time mods every 20 seconds. Okay. I have no idea what I'm in for, so... In an era all but forgotten, the gods once lived alongside humanity in the heart of Seatown. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. However, an unknown cataclysmic event plunged the world into a dark age. History was lost to time, as two were the gods. In their absence, our rebuilding humanity was left to contend with the emergence of a great being of darkness from the void. Every few decades, an event called the Scourge, the dragon's arrival would bring death and disease to the land. Those afflicted by the dragon's blight would lose their minds and bodies as they slowly became abominations of flesh and outcasts of society known as the blighted. So every few decades, the dragons would just show up and just be dicks. And if you survived, you're like, yay. If you didn't, then you get cast out of society. So if you're blighted, I wonder how long your lifespan is after that. Because if you're still blighted a couple decades later when the dragon comes back, I'd be furious at that dragon. That's just me, though. Stop being a dick. Despite centuries of effort from the Vanguard Order and the realm's greatest heroes, no lasting victory against the dragon could be achieved. Humanity has now come to accept the inevitability of the scourge as part of life, enduring or in some cases thriving despite it. With whispers of impending scourge circulating, you and your company find yourselves in a burial crypt not far from the city of Anilon. A simple retrieval of smuggled supplies, or at least that's what your employer has promised. So I wonder how long in humanity we are as far as the scourge goes, because the last paragraph says that we have now just accepted that scourge is part of life. Like, how bad does that have to be for you eventually just be like, you know what, it's just part of freaking life now. What can we do about it? Alright, this is Uruk. Damned grave robbers, stay sharp. No doubt his companions will have heard that. Everyone stands still, tensions rising as they grip their weapons tight. Scan the room for further hostiles. You hear a muffled shout from someone in an adjacent corridor, likely directed toward their now deceased associate. The sound of quickening footsteps soon follows, and three figures burst through a doorway at the far side of the room. This is, Beringer? Crap, should I go and alert the others? Uruk shakes his head, eyes fixed on the enemy. No time for that. We have no choice but to fight. Shall begin combat? Control cameras. Survey the battlefield by using WSAD. You can also hold the middle mouse button and move the mouse. So there we go. We're looking. On their turn, each character can move as many hexes as their movement stats allow. By moving onto a green hex, they still can perform an action afterwards. To cover more ground, they can sprint onto the dash gray hexes, but soon will end their turn. You can swap places with an ally by moving onto their location. Swapping is useful for setting up attacks or getting an ally out of harm's way. By holding shift, you can draw custom movement routes. To undo a movement, click the undo button on the hotbar or press the hotkey assigned to it, which is E. If you take damage or trigger a state hazard, you'll be able to undo your move. Let's move the Stormcaller into cover by clicking left mouse button on the indicated hex. So we're going to move him there. If you don't have a desirable action to perform, you can delay a character's turn until the end of the round by hitting the wait button. You can end a character's turn by using the guard action, which provides a temporary bonus to defense and evasion. Click the wait button to delay the Stormcaller's turn. Wait. Your character's abilities have a limited number of charges available, so it's important to play them wisely and use them effectively. Charges can be restored by camping or by using certain provisions. With the enemy advancing on us, we can set a trap by using the Pyro Lancer's return to sender ability on the indicated hex. Ow! You fool! As you can see, it's important to pay attention to any potential hazards when positioning your units. Some abilities are able to push or pull targets by forcing targets into obstacles and terrain. You can inflict bonus damage and other harmful effects. Move the pugilist into position and use the crescent wave ability to push the enemy into the pit. So I'm going to move here. Use this on this enemy right here. But he came back though. I'm going to move here. Every character on the battlefield exerts a zone of control on hexes adjacent to their position. A unit cannot leave this zone without suffering an attack of opportunity from the foe. This mechanic helps lock down enemies and prevents them from reaching your more vulnerable characters. Each character has a basic attack which has unlimited uses. Really? While unique abilities are guaranteed to hit their target, basic attacks are subject to accuracy and evasion check. Perform the basic attack on the enemy by clicking the left mouse button on the indicated hex. It has unlimited uses as far as the battle goes. For a minute I thought it had limited use as long as it was your turn. I'm like, that's crazy. Most attacks and abilities are subject to the line of sight check. When targeting, a red eye indicates that there is no line of sight, while a yellow eye indicates a partial line of sight. Large obstacles such as pillars can block a line of sight entirely. When characters have no vision of enemy, they are unable to directly target them. Smaller obstacles such as barrels or crates and characters will partially obscure line of sight on the right circumstances. A target who is partially visible receives 50% less damage from attacks. By taking cover directly behind a small object, you can look over the obstacle and gain full vision of the enemy, while remaining only partial visibility in return. The Stormcaller's conduit ability can devastate a single enemy from range. It takes a few turns to channel. You can see where a channel will finish by looking at the blue core indicator arrow on the turn order. Okay. Select the conduit ability and target the enemy archer. That's you? Avoiding attack of opportunity. When the nearest enemy is stunned, the Pyrolancer can safely move past their zone of control without incurring an attack of opportunity. Attacks of opportunity can also be avoided by using abilities that incorporate movement, or by utilizing the swap action. Let's aid the Guardian in sprint to engage her target. Ow. Ow. I guess they just trust me to finish it myself. Your Brutus has killed an enemy and gained morale. Morale is displayed by the white bar on each character's portrait. It represents their mood and attitude towards the current mission. Morale is gained or lost through various combat triggers. Landing a killing blow will increase morale, while suffering a critical strike will lower it. A character with low morale will take longer to recover from missions and will lose loyalty towards the company. Targets are considered flanked whenever they occupy two opposing hexes around their location. All attacks against flanked targets deal extra damage and cannot miss. Let's move the Guardian into the flank position and attack the enemy. Haha, you've been flanked, sir. Am I flanked or... That didn't seem fair. I mean, I just moited that guy. We'll take the L. Yurik sheaves his weapon, gazing around the room to make sure all are unharmed. He says, "Everyone all right then?" Dago gestures to some blood on Yurik's arm. "Never mind us, you certainly looked better." Yurik glances down at his injury and scoffs. "What's this?" He wipes at the blood, making a smearing mess of it. "Nothing time won't heal. I'll be fine." You turn as a familiar voice rings out distantly behind you, though the words are unclear. Yurik says, "Is that you, Vaughn?" Vaughn dashes in the room and stops, kneeling over to catch a breath. He looks and smiled. Jeez. Wasn't expecting this much text. "Glad to see that you're all still with us. We heard the fighting, figured you could handle it, but I didn't want to take the chance. And the others?" Vaughn points back in the direction he came from. "Torn and the rest are still searching. Surely there are better places to stash supplies, but I suppose those smugglers had little choice. At least we're getting paid well to retrieve them. We've been in worse situations." "Aye, that we have, boss. Was just hoping my last job would be free of surprises." "I can't fault you for wanting out, but I wish you'd reconsider." Vaughn smiles faintly and places a firm hand on Eric's shoulder. This life takes a toll, my friend. I've seen more death than any man should. His face goes dark for a brief moment, remembering all the friends you've lost. Your trusted advisor, Aldrich, steps out from beside you, his hands raised, bringing a halt to the conversation. All right, now, there's plenty of time to talk later. It's going to take a while to scour this place, even with the others' help. Right, I'd better get back to Torin and the rest before they find themselves lost. Watch your backs, there are more of those thieves in here, or worse yet. Vaughn looks back over his shoulder, nodding in acknowledgement. Let's get moving. Dungeon exploration and time. Most actions you take while exploring the dungeons will cost time. The passage of time can be harsh consequences and are represented by the time meter at the bottom right of the screen. Okay. While beginning exploring, use the left mouse button to move your party to an adjacent tile. Bam. Scouting can be useful in order to spot enemies, traps, and other surprises that may await you. By scouting an enemy location, you prevent them from being able to ambush you. It does cost extra time, however, so it should be used sparingly. Click right mouse button to over a tile to scout in that direction. Treasure. Exploration events. When interacting with exploration events, you will often have multiple choices available to you, sometimes costing various amounts of time. Your characters will have their own opinion on the choices you make, which can affect their overall loyalty to the company. Some actions require a stat check, and the character with the highest relevant attribute will be chosen for the task. The character in question will give you feedback to help you gauge the chance of success. If you have any tools with you, they can be consumed boost to chance successful action, or to perform a unique action otherwise wouldn't be available to you. Okay. You spot a discarded pack up ahead, likely dropped in the haste of the grave robbers. You alerted them. Don't expect to find much of value, but it's not likely they'll be coming back to claim it. No sense in leaving it for another to find. Take whatever looks useful loose. Loot you cost us one time. So one person likes it, one person hates it, one person likes it, one person hates it. I mean, receive a small health potion, receive bandage, receive tools. Using provisions during exploration. Provisions can be used both in and out of combat. While exploring, you can access your provision inventory in the bottom left menu or by pressing the I. Like other actions, provisions used during exploration have their own associated time costs. Our Pyrolancer Uric is hurting a bit after the last encounter. We should use a potion to restore his health. Aye! Who's Uric? That's Uric, okay. Use a potion on Uric. Close. Aye! Should be ambushed since I didn't scout it, right? There is a lot of mechanics. I'm just trying to keep them all straight in my head. During the deployment phase, you are able to reposition your party ahead of combat by clicking left mouse button on the character to move them and click again on the dial X. Once you're satisfied with the formation, click Start Combat. So we have two normal infantry guys with axes. We have an archer for range. And we have this lady with a throwing axe, which seems to be like mid-range. I really want to... I don't know what I'm doing. This looks ridiculous. I really want to rush down this archer. And then take a formation over here and make them come to me. Leaving my, who is it? Dago in the rear to be protected. I mean, I pretty much got him locked in there. I gotta make them come to me, right? Um, oh, jeez. I mean, that's fine, because you're not going anywhere, so... His basic's too far out. Let's set a trap there. See if anybody's stupid enough to go step in it. So close. I want to go here. I want you to go there. I'm just going to wait. Can I not move? I didn't mean to... My poor dude got surrounded. Um... 705. Missing 57. Yeah, she took a beating on that one. That's not a lie. Tools. Kind of like a little Darkest Dungeon. I mean, in Darkest Dungeon there is a potion, a shovel, and a bandage. I mean, you signal a halt as a faint, distant rumbling becomes audible, steadily growing louder and closer with each passing moment. You look up, noticing cracks forming in the ceiling. Small rocks break off and fall on the floor around you. Your orc pumps against you and tugs your arm, urging you to run. It's a cave-in. We need to move. Breaking stride behind the rest of the party, you still glance back, see quarter collapsing in the cascade of falling stone. Cross the threshold into another chamber, diving to the ground. Its path beneath you quickly closed off by the crumbling structure. Cloud, dirt, and dust obscure your vision. The rumbling crashing comes to a halt as the last few pieces of debris can be heard. Eric says, "Everyone okay?" Right as dust settles, aside from the few cough fits, everything seems okay. What the hell was that? An earthquake? Might have been. Or the grave robbers trying to force their way into someplace they shouldn't. Here inspects the cave-in passage, lightly kicking at some of the rubble on the ground. Gosh, we had to find another way out. What are the others and the supplies we're supposed to locate? Here places a reassuring hand on Dago's shoulder. One of them were on the other side of the crypt. I expect they're fine, or at least I hope so. Our priority is to find them. Hopefully they're already retrieved the supplies. We could use a little luck. What's that symbol mean? Oh. That means we can't go that way. That's what that symbol means. Okay. Supplied by a pile of rubble from the recent cave-in, Yurik steps forward and climbs on top of the gauge the severity of the block edge. It's not too bad. I can see a clearer path ahead. Just need to move enough of this rubble so we can squeeze through. He turns looking down to the dress shoe. Any ideas? Let's give him a shovel. The shovel didn't piss anybody off. An affirming nod, Yurik grabs the shovel and begins digging, soon clearing a path. It's wide enough for everyone to fit through. Your party crawls through the gap. The rumble comes on the other side, sliding down a pile of flickering light, torch cast in the room, collecting a haul, illuminating. Vaughn says, easy now, it's just me. I thought the whole damn place was going to come down upon us. The structure groans and rumbles for the moment. He glances around, concerned, it might yet. Yurik motions back towards the collapse. The whole section is caved in. We'll need to find a new way out here once we're done. I figured as much. Torn and the others have already set to find a new one. I take it you haven't found the supplies yet either? Yurik slowly shakes his head. Fortunately not. Let's hope they're not buried in stone. Regroup with Torn and secure the exit vine. We'll find when the job's done. Sure thing, boss. He quickly scans the surrounding and leans in close. His expression turned deadly serious. There's something else. All that commotion has disturbed the dead within the walls. We've already put down a few of the bastards, but you best stay alert. At least we're more tread carefully. Ambush? It's a harrowing experience. Even the bravest soldier is not immune to traumatic events. It will take a while to forget this one. Increased post-mission fatigue. As you explore, the application of various time modifiers will present new challenges for you to overcome. With each time modifier applied, your party will slowly become unnerved and suffer a small loss of morale. Due to these factors, it's important to be efficient and spend your time wisely. You can see which modifiers are currently active next to the time meter in the bottom right. It's a Rising Ghoul. These guys are going to eat me alive. Arbalist. I think he's some type of like mage. So I'm taking care of these two, then we'll just corner these and just smack the crap out of them. I thought I could knock him into the trap. Go ahead and move you here. Just move you here for a second. Just gonna move you here. Maybe here. And we're gonna set a trap right there. Ah! It's a shame that trap doesn't work 2 times in a row. You son of a... Let's fall back one. And smack him. We'll move you over here. Place you right here. Enemy passives. Oh no. Some enemies have a passive abilities. These undead skeletons are able to reanimate after being defeated. Prevent them from reanimating, you'll need to target and destroy the pile of bones. Cleansing conditions. You can dispel negative conditions from your character cleansing abilities or by using an antidote. Not all harmful effects can be cleansed, however, even injuries or flank debuffs. Well, she's stunned. That's the issue at the moment. I'm going to have you two take care of that. I'm going to have you take care of him. I don't expect he's going to move. Was it Q? Can she attack from there? Heal as a single target, range of 2. Yeah, let's do that. Have him come out. Have him smite this fool. Snap, crackle, pop. And all we got was a weak ale. Yurick runs his hand along the wall until you're dead, reading the description on each nameplate before moving on to the next. He stops at one, peering closer and double-checking the name before turning with relief in his voice. This was the one we were looking to look for, boss. About time. Let's hope the contents are still intact. Reaching with both arms in the darkness, Yurick firmly grabs hold of a coffin and his ancient, rotting, weakening wood creaking in protest. He gingerly slides the coffin part way out, pushes it on the side, emerging briefly to pulling out stash pack with care. Taking a peek in from the contents, he walks over to you, hands it back. It's all there, no damage to the vials, for what I can tell. What does our employer want with them anyway? Elric ejects, eager to share his knowledge on the matter. This here is a cure for the blight, or at least it's slow the process. The Vanguard keeps it tightly controlled, though, only treating those who pledge themselves to their order. As such, is highly sought after all the black market. That's why our employer is paying us well. Resources haven't been wasted. Let's regroup with Vaughn and hope that we found us an exit. That probably means a boss. Only got... He can take a few licks. Here's something moving in the darkness ahead. The sound of bones rattling and scraping along the stone floor. Bright green eyes turn towards you. And at dead begin leads the bone-chilling stretch of shuffles forward into light with torches moving faster than seas. Prepare yourselves. It's General, Arbalist, Rising Ghoul. I mean, we got pretty good cover. I mean, we have the choke point. Channel for turns, applying a damage shield on herself. Target that lasts for 2 rounds, range of 2. That's a... I mean, you have to come into my pit. I mean... Oh man, you just walked into the Thunderdome, sir. Didn't realize it was going to hit her. My bad. Yeah, she's almost... No. He has to go. I missed. Target a single enemy and channel for 5 turns, dealing massive lightning damage. Damage a single adjacent target applies a burn. Do I really want to head first? No, it's best if you just... Can't reach him. This guard. I mean, he's almost dead. I'm going to hide him as much as I can. She's not doing too well either. Move her up a spot. These two guys don't have much damage on them, so we're going to... I'm just good with guarding. Guard with her. We picked up a scroll of blocking. When characters gain enough experience points, they will level up and retrieve attribute points and ability points. Holy hell. 6 attributes for you to put your coins in: physique, finesse, toughness, conviction, insight. Mind each one contributes different to your character's combat stacks. Each class specializes in 2 attributes that increase their power. It's donated by ability points are used to upgrade or alter the effects of characters' abilities. By leveling up, you'll be able to unlock new abilities for each character. Each class has 6 abilities to unlock, though they can only be equipped 4 at a time. Oh man, guess we're going that way. What the... I'm confused. Wow. Increases cast range by 1. Increase damage shield trims by 20%. Generate 2 radiant stacks from the Guardian's passive. Target gains 10% speed for... We'll do that one. Party comes to a standstill as a muffled shouts and ringing still reverberate down the corridor towards you. She uses his lance, motioning the rest of you forward as he breaks into a stride, barreling towards the sound of battle. That must be the others hurrying. One misstep or lapse in judgment, and all it takes to gain serious hurt around here. You only can concentrate on many things. Your chance of curing injury. Party comes to a standstill as muffled shouts, ringing still reverberates down the corridor towards you. The last of the undead dealt with, Vaughn hails you across the chamber with a flicking of his hand. For the smile forming of his face, he strides closer to meet you. Did you find it then? The exit's just beyond there. Been trying to keep it clear of the dead. Pile of bones here, Torrent's feet suddenly becomes rattled. Eyes of the skull radiate the bright green and seen forces attempt to resemble the skeleton. Torrent grunts and steps forward, crushing the skull beneath his heel. Guarding into fine dust, he looks up with a satisfied grin. Took you long enough. Van was here getting all worked up, thinking the worst. The crypt groans once more, the ground beneath you shakes even slightly. Don't let the structure will hold out much longer, sir. We best be on our... He raises his torch high, expecting ceiling bumps, small peckables way. Good advice, I reckon. We got what we came for, let's not tempt fate, let's exit. After a mission, you'll seek for treatment for any injuries your party has incurred. While injured characters can still fight, injury penalties make them... in order to full recovery, they must pay for their treatment in cities' infirmaries. Some injuries require prompt treatment. Okay, that's just the screen, okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our look at the Iron Oath. Once again, this is in early access, and it's been out since April 2022, so you're talking My brain stopped. 5 months. Sorry, 5 months of early access so far. It has a lot of good qualities to it. There's just a lot of systems to keep in play, and if you're a veteran tactical RPG player, you're like, nah, like I don't play a lot of them. To me, there's a lot of things just to keep in mind. I'm not even reading any of the stuff. You can read it if you want to as it scrolls up, but it's a lot of fun. I definitely will probably come back to this in the future, given the chance. Once again, thank you so much to Curious Panda Games, Humble Games, for hooking me up with the code, Any Game Collector for letting me showcase it to you, the audience. If you want to pick it for yourself, it's $20 on Steam. There's a link in the description below where you can find it. If you cannot afford that right now, I'll definitely make sure you wishlist it for future consideration. I'll be back at it again tomorrow with more indie games, indie demos, and great content like this from indie developers. Until then, my band of thieves. Oh, hold on. I have a sign now. I'll haunt you later.